Waters of Eternity. That's where I need to go, but we're going to continue exploring this side, see what's here.
Sure.
I'm sneaking because I need a sneak to find things. Ah. I'm trying to get to the Temple of Boudica. Okay. Too many games, too many different saves. I do not remember this. Well, I don't remember a lot of this game, so it's easy to say. Alright. In here. Cover every fog of war. Yeah, there's stuff where I haven't. You guys go any more complicated ways to get back to this place? Lordy, lordy, lord. Trying to get to the Temple of Boudica. I know where that's at. I'm just making sure I explore every part of this map like I do. As one does. Get all the loots, all the gear, all the monies.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment. Hey.
Eh? Ready, Watcher. Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
How may I help?
Hmm? Following your lead.
Ready, Watcher.
If thou feel our feelings.
They want skeletal wizards.
Of course.
Let's go!
If thou feel our feelings.
Time to see and not be seen.
The small Orland man appears to have pulled together some crates and scraps of cloth to make a rather sorry-looking little camp. The thick fur on his limbs is matted and his clothing smeared with blackening grime. He looks startled as you enter, eyes widening in alarm.
Good day, stranger.
Hello there, wasn't expecting any visitors down in these parts. What are you doing down here? I've been a little down on my luck lately. Didn't have anywhere to stay, so I thought I'd come down here. Nobody pokes around in the catacombs much, not into use, anyway. There are less dangerous places to live as meager a life. You're hiding from something or someone. Yeah, I guess that's plain enough to see. Very well, it's true. I've been hiding from the knights down here, but it isn't what you think. It was an accident. It's been hard for me here in Defiance Bay. I suppose I thought if I got involved in city business, if I made the right friends, it would get easier in time. And it did, really. I made a name for myself, a place. People actually listen to me when I talk. Well, they used to. People can get very passionate about these things. We were discussing, I think it was shipping agreements of all things to fight over. But this one night, this man, he got very angry. I think maybe he had a little too much at the end. And I guess he didn't like an Orland talking back at him. I struck him. He came toward me and I hit him. And he went over like a tree. I guess he struck his head on the way down. Turns out, he was a knight. The Crucible Knights won't care how it happened. They just want me gone. They won't let me live long enough to see the rope. Please. I just want to get out of the city. The second I can get money for passage, I won't trouble you, anyone again, I swear it. I'll live quietly, but you can't, please, you can't tell them I'm here. Here, this should be enough to buy your passage out of Defiance Bay. But they said you were a kind soul, but I wouldn't have imagined. This will see me out of the city and well away. Wait. Not sure I could ever thank you enough, but here, take this. I hope it's some use to you on your journey. You have my lasting gratitude, friend. I should get ready. How did he know?
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Hallelujah. Alright, that looks like it. think I need to camp. Oh, is that what it's picking up? Picking up something, I don't know what it is. Woodica. The great Lord Woodica. What? Oh. In front of you looms the ghostly, hollow image of the man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dank corridor as he regards you. You are from
Kratom, my dear.
His words are an echo in your mind from a long time past. You know your response before you speak it as if it has always been. Yes, I was born there.
A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have encountered outside of our own. Many exceptional people who have joined our cause come from Kratom. What made you decide to join our order?
I went through dark times. Nothing made sense. That all changed when your order came to my homeland.
Little makes sense in the false contexts much of the world has lived under for so long. It is by the mercy of the gods that our faith has been able to reach so many of the heathen in more recent times. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
I am. Alright, let's see what this is. The mercenary eyes you warily as you approach, his weapon ready. What are you doing here? You don't like one of the masked lots. Relax. How would I know to be here if I didn't belong? He thinks carefully, then nods. Alright then. Go on in and report to the Acolyte and she'll give you your assignment. They should be just about finished with their meeting in the big chamber. Any idea what's going on around here? Word of advice, friend. Don't ask questions. Just go and do what you're told. You know anything about this place? As far as I can tell, we're underneath the first fires, probably under that ruined temple. Farewell. Well, mercenaries not important. Aloth falters and brings a hand to his forehead. He takes a staggering step forward, coughing, sputtering.
Back, ye Claude! Those hooded fiends are nigh to be trusted!
Elf, pull yourself together. He grimaces, catching his breath. It's nothing, I'm fine. This probably isn't the best place to linger anyhow. You hear murmurs and chants on the other side of the door. A ritual of some sort is underway. You open the door and stride into the chamber, motioning for the rest of your party to accompany you. Gonna be a fight. Several shrouded figures are lined up across from a hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approaches her, and the woman places her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communion as you look on. A few moments later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place in the circle around the statue. All eyes in the room fall on you, and you hear quick, angry mutterings being exchanged. Brothers, sisters, an intruder walks among us. Deal with her. What do we got? Shrouded woman, shrouded man.
Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
Hey. Hi?
What?
Eh? Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
What?
Hey.
What?
Hey. I?
Moe. Ik. What?
Yeah. I'm here.
Hey. How may I help? How may I help?
Yes?
Sacre Fou!
Crumpled at your feet lies the body of a woman. She wears a dark robe that bears an insignia resembling a key. As you approach the woman's body, feelings of rage assault you. The dead woman's voice howls in your ears, and her lingering conscience rends at yours. Her essence tingles through your bones and membranes. It fills the space between your ears and behind your eyes, clawing deeper into your core. You see a gathering of men and women wearing robes like hers, their faces hidden behind masks. One by one they approach her, whom they know as an alkalite, and she places her hand on each of their foreheads, searching their thoughts. She tests them with ritualistic questions, and they answer that their oath is sealed by the Leaden Key. She asks them of their tasks. She gives them new ones, all without a word. Her essence flares, fighting to boil your blood, burn your memory, splinter your bones from within. Yet between its strikes you see flashes of something else, a tower, a prisoner, and a ruin. You funnel all of your concentration to a single effort of will, a sharp point that pins the raging soul in place like an insect in a display case. With the thing under control, you're able to examine it, and there are 3 thoughts swirling inside. You see a palimpsest of a neighborhood. Run down estates are cobbled together around a cemetery and an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in the tower a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him. Somewhere nearby you see a woman with a scar over her heart. You understand that she has something he needs. Now, prisoner? In your mind you see a building magnificent with trellises and tiles located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin. Yet it also houses misery and madness. Somewhere within his rotten core sits a man, his hair matted but his eyes alert. He watches and waits, prisoner by choice. Did I miss something there? Okay. For the last one, I also didn't read this part. You also see a door at the base of the tower, seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper, but then the outline reveals the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. You know how to open a door. The Acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay into a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the paths reads Deerford. Several figures huddled together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruin suddenly looms in your mind. Two skeletal effigies flank a cleft in a mountainside. Oh, now this is grimoire.
Sure. Quickly and quietly.
I don't know where that goes. We're going to finish exploring this area. But first, barracks. Upgrades, so the barracks are done. Are we fighting now? We'll find out. Yep.
Hey,
Ready, Watcher. Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
how may I help?
Brave thou shalt believe.
What? Here's a lesson to...
Hey,
Let's. No problem.
Holy moly.
There. Love.
Eh?
Following your lead.
Hey. How may I help?
Be a seat.
No problem.
Hello? Hello? Love. Be a. What?
Hey. How may I help?
Yeah? Got it.
Braved out.
I shall be discreet.
Discovering that as I play these games, I'm becoming a murder hobo.
Braved out. Yes?
How may I help?
Got it.
Now I can see what's going on this way. Getting there to my next level.
Keeping an eye out. You might find this interesting.
I don't feel so good.
I think you hear the faint sound of whispering coming from the skulls, but the words are unintelligible.
Quickly and quietly.
Alright. I also want to check out the statue because I forgot to see what that was all about. Whether by design or by consequence of the sputtering candlelight, the hooded statue's face is almost impossible to see. You awake to see Durance, his staff held in both of his hands before him. A flame flickers at its top end, casting long shadows across his face as he stares in contemplation. Still, for all the light in the fire, your eyes can't focus on him. Perhaps it is awakening from sleep or a trick of the light, but he seems indistinct, blurred around the edges. Everything except for the staff. The staff, he seems to be studying its engravings. As you watch, the engravings glow thinly red, like through the cracks of heat-suffused wood. The lines stream like molten metal, burning along the edges of his staff, then branch out in an intricate series of fiery veins, bunching thickly where his hands clutch the wood, pulsing as if in a heartbeat. As you watch, the veins spiral into a dozen separate circles that spiral again until they are arranged in a circle of their own. They pulse, wait, and all is strangely silent, and then suddenly there's a great light from the fire, a rushing of air, a great flash, and you awaken again. To see Durance in the same place, still holding his staff, but he is solid, real. He doesn't seem to have noticed you, or reacted to what occurred. Thought I put your eyes on me, now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skidding your knuckles on the wrong door.
I saw something strange. You were sitting by the fire, and I saw a great light from your staff.
Tell me what you saw.
It was a flash like an explosion, a rushing of air, incredibly bright.
It is the light of the Godhammer you saw.
The Godhammer?
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
What do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' War to an end, knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Eothas overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Eothas of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
So you helped build the Godhammer?
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now. It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who would come to stand on the bridge to stop Eothas.
Shadows of the 12?
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Margaren. her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment, the light flaring slightly. It splits into a ring of flames, one after the other, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Aethys fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
Then it blossoms brightly once and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle-like flame intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. We shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer, marked by Magrin.
Durance frowns, moves his gaze from the staff. What do you mean, shared their fates?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Magrin, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Magrin was pleased by what we had done.
Why is that?
The world is broken, the wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart, perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing two gods, even as Magrin shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed, just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Magrin's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
What did you do?
I remembered Magrin's teachings. How reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal?
He shakes his head.
As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees. Wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Magrin at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
What happened when you were returned to Ashfall?
The road to Ashfall is long. Gives one time to think. And if you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was undeserved. It was wrong. We had done all that Or had asked. Grab victory from defeat and
Do you feel as if do you feel as if you betrayed your god?
there is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widewen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests. did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
Maybe the purges weren't what McGran wanted either. Sweat collects in the sooty creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterance makes no sounds. He is, for once, at a loss. Being near Gase, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of a dirty hand.
Huh? Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
Durance glares at you and stares into his eyes. And staring into his eyes gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
Tell me what happened on the bridge. We chose the bridge because we could control it. It was a place where we could choke Aethys in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall, a narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was a spine of the deerwood, symbolic of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Any weapon. I suspect Aethys knew that as well, and so did his vessel in its arrogance. He intended to walk upon the bridge as if walking on the backs of the deerwood, and we intended to burn him with the light of our faith, and his. 12 on the bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it. Gave yourselves to it?
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit.
Elements of the spirit?
Each of the 12 who brought the Godhammer forth would have done anything to save the Deerwood, save its people. It is why we were chosen. Each of us hated this pretender. That rage, that spirit, that rebellion went into our work, and went into studying him as well.
Wadewind, why?
We all studied Widewind. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us.
And why was that important?
You don't kill the god. You kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin. Burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did. At the cost of our own. And at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
Is that why your image was blurred in the dream? Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the Godhammer's light, Watcher. I may feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others.
If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margren, put them in a new light.
It looked as if there was only a part of you, as if your spirit had been sheared in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
Getting closer. Where does this take me? All right. Oh, this is cleared off now. Do you mind? Truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Wodika's house of worship.
A moment, please. I feel I should explain myself. About my episode in the Catacombs, there's something I should have told you earlier.
So tell me now. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself, that when we resolve this matter of your soul, we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
He closes his eyes and grits his teeth. His lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes again. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
So tell me about Ilsilmir.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen.
Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get this gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
I have none of her memories. Varas spared me that much, but her coarse manners and intolerable hill speak suggest a provincial from a very, very long time ago. Boy, that was terrible reading. She tends to surface a hair's breadth from conflict, when the fuse is burned down and teeth are on edge. And when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge the situation. She just acts. She seems reckless. Said exactly. You recall the way she goaded those villagers in Gilded Vale? She doesn't think, and she doesn't back down. And trying to suppress that has been my problem for years. So why didn't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meerwald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Is this going to be a problem?
Merely an annoyance. Although...
He lowers his voice and clasps his hands behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arms betray his fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
Excuse me. If it's helpful to you, we'll go.
Thank you. This has been a great burden.
Time to get moving. What was that? No. Alright, this is where we're going to stop. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm having a blast replaying this. Till next time, if you like what you see, you know what to do. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.